I think that's very important. I know the ANC's taken a lead on that. You know, it's been difficult because, as you know, for many years, and you know, I've been around for a while, we basically said no military assistance to Azerbaijan. And then in the aftermath of 9/11, there was an agreement that there would be parity, that there would be some military, you know, some money that would go for military purposes to both countries, but it would be on a parity basis. And many times the Bush administration would not heed that, and they'd put more in the budget for Azerbaijan, and the Congress would have to recreate the parity. But I think that with all the war rhetoric on the part of Aliyev and Azerbaijan, I mean, right now there shouldn't be any military assistance going to Azerbaijan, and we'll continue to press that. But it's difficult because many of the members, you know, still think of the parity as the right way to go, and so I don't know how successful we're going to be, but I think it's important to keep stressing it because, you know, this war rhetoric has to stop. Elizabeth, I really, you know, I have mixed feelings about whether the war between Russia and Georgia, you know, is encouraging Azerbaijan to be more military or discouraging them. I mean, on the one hand, they might say, well, you know, Georgia suffered from this conflict, and, you know, what was the point of taking military action? On the other hand, you know, maybe they figure, you know, well, here, you know, now that we've had military action in that theater, why can't we do it in Nagorno-Karabakh? So it's hard to say, you know, what signals they got from the war, and that's why I think it's important for, you know, for the United States to say, no, a military solution is not the way to go, and do whatever we can to try to prevent that. I'm hopeful. I mean, obviously, you know, President-elect Obama was very strong, not only on saying that he wanted to create better relations with Armenia and try to deal with the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, but also, you know, affirming the genocide many times. I think it was about a year ago, and this time in January, that he, you know, made it quite clear that if he was elected, that he would affirm the genocide. His actions as a senator certainly reflected that. I mean, there have been statements in the Congressional record or on the floor where he specifically affirmed the genocide. And so I think we're in a totally different situation now than we have been for a long time. If, you know, if with the administration being supportive, you know, that makes it possible either for them to do it on their own, you know, in April or whenever, you know, the opportunity presents itself, and at the same time be supportive so that we know that we could move a bill. I mean, I think that if it becomes clear that that they want the resolution moved, then we can move it. Right now, the situation probably hasn't changed much. In other words, you know, we need some action on the part of the administration, I think, to move the resolution. But so far, you know, based on statements that he made during the campaign, it seems pretty positive. Well, you know, when we started New Year, I think we had about 140 members of the caucus in the last Congress. We lost, I don't know, 15 or 16. Unfortunately, we lost Joe Nolenberg, who was, you know, the co-chair, the Republican co-chair, and one of our biggest supporters. What we'll do is, as you mentioned, Mark Kirk is going to be the Republican co-chair, and he's, you know, he's well positioned. I mean, he's on the Foreign Operations Appropriations Subcommittee. He's an intelligence officer with the Pentagon. He's got a lot of connections with the military. And what we'll do is we'll send out a letter, you know, probably within the next week to all the new members. We're already talking to them. Everybody has to re-up again, so to speak. But there's so many new members that, you know, hopefully we can not only make up for those 16, but get more, and that will be the goal. Well, I think that it's sort of the whole, it's part of that whole change mantra that we are having in Washington. People are really looking for change with the new Congress and the new president. And I think with regard to Armenian issues, we'll see those changes. I mean, obviously, the new president, Obama, is much more supportive of Armenia, whether it's the genocide or trying to get involved and improve the situation in Armenia with Nagorno-Karabakh. I think he's quite clear on that. And of course, Joe Biden also. Joe Biden was also a big supporter and was the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee in the Senate. So I'm looking forward to a lot of changes that'll be beneficial to Armenia and the Armenian issues that we care about.